Okay, thank God our guys at Ocean Avenue had the foresight to make me a winter parka. This is Ken Dunn, and I'm in St. John's, Newfoundland. Now, I want to give you guys a chance to see this. This is fascinating. We're driving by 15-foot snowbanks here on the rock. We're going to build a massive business here. But hey, I wanted to take a minute to chat with you for a second about mindset. I'm going to start dropping a video on you every once in a while about some of the success principles that I've lived my life by, as well some of the success principles that I've seen some of the greatest entrepreneurs in the world build their businesses by. And one of the things that is really heavy on my mind over the last couple of months, especially since we started building this community here at Ocean Avenue, you know, we've taken, Fred, Tuffy, and I as the founders, we've taken our own game to the next level, if you will. And our goal is to build a global community of millions of families that want to use the same products together, families that want to have fun together, families that want to pursue freedom together. And so as part of that, we had to decide right up front how we were going to think, because how we think almost dictates, no, that's too strong a word. It almost influences the thinking of our leaders and everybody in our community. And what I've realized over the last decade is that there really are two mindsets, two different types of mindsets that corporate leaders, founders, owners, and network marketing leaders build by, lead by, develop their businesses by. And I'm going to give it to you straight up. One is an abundance mindset, and the second is a fear mindset. Now, clearly, just hearing those two things, you would know that the first is the one you want to have, the abundance mindset. But unfortunately, all too often in business today, when we take a look at the failure of businesses, you can almost trace back the failure of a business or the lack of success to the mindset of the principals, the most important people in a network marketing business, to the key leaders, in ownership to the founders, and in corporate America to the senior executives. In an abundance mindset, we are cautious to make sure we make the right decisions, generally speaking, but we are also positive and looking forward. Even on the worst of days, when things are getting tough, you try to find that silver lining in the clouds, you know, proverbially speaking. And you can see it in any of the world's greatest leaders. I mean, if you go back to my book, Being the Change, when I talked about Gandhi or Mother Teresa, come on, they had bad days. I could fill 10 minutes of this video by talking about the things that didn't go right. I mean, do you know that Gandhi had thousands of death threats? And he had to take every one of those serious. He had to hire guards to watch him day and night. And obviously, inevitably, we lost Gandhi to a gunman, to a madman. But throughout his entire life, he stayed completely positive. And even when things were going wrong, he'd make sure to figure out a way to turn or spin it into a positive thing. When something wasn't going the way he suggested or thought, he would change the direction in the road. But then now we've got this other fear mindset, and this is the killer of dreams. Have you ever been around somebody in business where they're always thinking everybody's out to get them? They're always thinking that the sky is falling. They're always assuming that somebody is ripping them off. And more often than not, that stinking thinking ends up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. I mean, I've been around owners in network marketing over the last decade who thought that distributors were the evil archenemy. And they'd always be talking about how those distributors are going to destroy this company, and those distributors are trying to hurt us, and, you know, on and on and on. And then we have the whole story of a leader leaving a company. I mean, I have seen it time and time again, where folks start to think that somebody's raiding their company and somebody's out to get them. And they get so built up with fear about these ideas that they lose sight of reality. Listen, I've spent a significant amount of time in the mortgage industry. And the mortgage industry is a much larger industry than the network marketing industry. And to be very frank with you, it's much more competitive than the network marketing industry. I'm actually spending the day with a friend of mine here that we knew in the mortgage industry together in Canada a decade ago. And I had a massive mortgage business. We did $300 million in fundings in just the 4 years, shy of 4 years that I owned that business. And guess what? While we were in the mortgage industry, we saw our senior sales executives move from one company to another. You know, they'd be headhunted away by guys that would call them up and, you know, give them a better deal somewhere else. And they'd switch mortgage companies. They'd take some of their clients. And it was funny how we dealt with it. We wished them luck. We maintained the friendships. And we always did one thing. We had exit interviews in the mortgage industry. If we were losing a senior executive, we'd sit down, have lunch with them and ask them, number one, why are you leaving? Most often it was because they saw a better opportunity for themselves, which was fantastic. We wish them luck. But we would also ask them, what do you think we could do better? And we just valued that feedback. It made us better companies. And this is the way 99% of the industries in the world operate. But then here we have network marketing. You know, Richard Brooke, somebody that I have an immense amount of respect for, former board member at the DSA, owns his own company, written books on the industry, 30-year veteran. I've heard him say many times that in our crazy business, it's the only industry out there that when times get tougher, somebody moves around, we circle the wagons just like they did in the Old West. But in the old days, the cowboys would get on the inside and point their guns outwards. Well, here in this industry, we circle the wagons and we point the guns inward. We shoot at each other. And, you know, this is all part of this fear mentality. And then we've got the leaders in the field, you know, the same way. You've either got the abundance mentality people who always win and the fear mentality people who always lose. And the network marketing field leaders are really either from one of those two areas as well. You know, you get the field leader that always thinks the company's out to get them and the company's doing things wrong and the company's never got their crap together and, oh, they promised this a month ago and this is never going to work and they're not treating me right and blah, 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 yada, da, 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 da. They're fear-based. And then you have these network marketing leaders, and I'm not going to name names, but we've all got them in our companies, who are the most amazing people ever. I mean, they deal with the same crap on a daily basis. They deal with the junk. They deal with the distributor that doesn't get their products on time. They deal with the distributor that pays too much for shipping. All that same stuff, but it never stops them from being positive. Anyway, I think you see where I'm going with this. If you're in a network marketing company, it doesn't matter if it's Ocean Avenue or whatever company you're in. If you want it to work, then be positive. Companies are inanimate objects. The heart of a company and the likelihood of a company becoming a multi-billion-dollar household brand is directly related to the abundance mentality that the field leaders, that the corporate officers, and the founders share. And that mentality will always prevail. So stop worrying about who's shooting at you, because they're not. Stop worrying about who's, collaborating to raid your company, because they're not. Stop worrying about the field leaders that you think are trying to rip you off, because they're not. Stop worrying about the guy that's peering in your door at night, trying to get all the secrets about you, because he's not. You know, if you focus on the abundance of life and the good things you have going for you, you're going to win.